Hi guys, I thought I'd do a quick video about when you put 100% of all your effort when in any of your workplaces, but mainly I wanted to apply this to when you work in healthcare and you just basically put 100% in for your patients and make sure um, every task you get allocated is done, and you delegate and manage to shift, and you've got the correct amount of staff. You've got patients who need help and you ensure they get the help they need. And I just wanted to give a few tips when you're in that situation and you're putting in 100%. And the first tip I wanted to give you is make sure you drink enough, because literally as nurses we just work and never ever make sure that we're hydrated, that we have the right fuel to continue to do the job that we do, because the amount of times nurses get burned out, or they get injured, and the importance is just eating the right foods, having that 5 minutes to have a cup of tea, which is so easy to just forget or put aside, or just put, well, I'll have a tea and a rest when I get home. But it's just so vital, because you know hours and hours will go by where you're constantly doing task after task after task, and okay, you're delegating to other professionals, but equally you need to make sure that if a member of staff needs a rest, you give them that break they're entitled to, or let them leave early if that's their choice, and that could be facilitated on the ward. Equally, you have to take care of yourself, make sure you're hydrated, just so your brain can function, because apparently, you don't even have to be extremely hydrated for your brain to stop working. Your brain stops working properly, stops working to its fullest potential when you're just 200 mils dehydrated. Your brain is just like, what is going on, and it stops functioning to its full potential. So obviously when you're doing all these tasks, you're putting 100% in. If you're dehydrated, your brain is not working to its full potential. So that's one of the reasons staying hydrated is so important. And another thing that's so important is noticing when you're anxious. So in a workplace, you get allocated to so many tasks, and you become so anxious because of different reasons. It could be because you feel overwhelmed. It could be because 5 different healthcare professionals are trying to speak to you at the same time. It could be that you have such a long to-do list and you haven't delegated properly. So notice when you're anxious, and do not under any circumstance ignore it, because that anxiety is there for a reason. And sometimes I'm anxious and straight away I know I've forgotten something, which is so annoying, because when I'm at home and relaxed, I suddenly remember when it's too late. So having that 5 minutes in work to just be like, well, I'm just gonna sit here, have a cup of tea, and it gives your mind a chance to actually bring things to your attention that you've just put aside in your brain, in that little box, I'll do later. So yeah, that's brilliant. And just writing to-do lists is so helpful, because recently on our ward we have this to-do list where you write down a list of tasks that you need to get done, and you also write down a name of a person who's responsible for that task, and that's so helpful when it comes to delegation. Yeah, and number 3, I wanted to say that don't be afraid to be wrong, because some people are so anxious because they're afraid of making a mistake. If you're anxious because you are afraid of making a mistake, you're going to make a mistake. And actually you have to remind yourself that every single day you're in work, you're learning something new. You're either working with different people, or you've got a different patient to care for, and you're learning about them. You're not going to be a know-it-all. And if somebody asks you a question and you don't know the answer, just go, I don't know, I'm learning just like you are, or I'll find out the answer from a senior member of staff. And if you are the senior member of staff, not knowing is not a problem. Not knowing is not a problem. Just go and find out the information. You don't not have to know everything. In healthcare, there's so much pressure to know everything, and you just don't need that pressure. So just be kind to yourself, and just tell yourself each day is like a learning curve, because each day in healthcare is different. And yeah, so believe in yourself, and be grateful for the opportunity to work in healthcare, because obviously it's a position where you've got so many opportunities to learn. The NHS still obviously provides a lot of different trainings, which is so useful. And and I'm sure the patients you care for are so grateful for your care, and I'm sure you see them improving each and every day, and that's due to your 100% effort going in. So I would just want to say, just give yourself a tap on the back, and take yourself out for a nice treat, because you definitely deserve it. And do find time for rest, because that is vital. It does keep the burnout at bay. Thank you for watching.